welcome back to the channel, neighbors. Today we're going to look at this the growth rings in this tree that I've been cutting up, and I tell you, this has been pretty fascinating to me. Quick Google search told us that red oak tree, which I think this is, and to be honest with you, red oak, black oak, scarlet oak, you're all red oaks to me. The red oak to me is one of these trees with a really rough bark, an oak tree with really rough bark and really straight grain. These things usually split like a dream. You know, white oak, because as far as I'm concerned, there's two oaks, white oak and red oak. White oak is very stringy, it's very hard to split. Both are very dense wood, fantastic firewood, both. But I like the red oak because it splits so well. But anyhow, quick Google search of red oak. The tree will be about 50 years old before it starts producing acorns. I've got some here, I'll show you here in a minute. Just in case you don't have oak trees where you're from. About 150 years before it's considered an adult tree. I thought that was pretty impressive. And red oak has about a 700-year life expectancy. That's a long life. This one didn't make it that long. You know, this tree was roughly 22 inches in diameter, and I really thought this tree was going to be 150 years old before I ever counted rings. I just assumed it would be older than that, but it wasn't. It's only about somewhere less than 90 years old, I reckon. Best I can tell. It's hard to count the rings right in the middle of the heartwood. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Oak trees start out as acorns. That's the seeds. Like I say, just in case you don't have oak trees in your part of the world. The seeds sometimes are bigger. These are actually pretty small. This is this year's seeds. We had a really, really hot summer, as did, I think, most of America. So apparently on hot years, the acorns are smaller. I don't know. The heartwood on this tree is really hard to count rings. I mean, it only looks like like 3 rings for that thing to be, I don't know, almost 5/8 across. But I'm sure it took longer than 3 or 4 years for that little sapling to get that big, because the sapling's struggling, fighting all the big trees around it for sunlight and nutrients. But anyhow, that's what it looks like. So, you know, roughly somewhere between 80 and 90 years old. The first 20 years, from the green pin to the white pin, it grew very, very slowly. It looked like it was a couple limbs here at one time. It was very young. That disappeared. But the first 20 years of this tree would have had an interesting history if it could see history. Right about where the green pin is, my folks were born. So this tree was born around 1943. My folks were born just a little bit before that. But in its first 20 years, it would have seen America join in the World War II. It would have seen the beginning of it would have seen America join in World War II. It would have seen America join in the Vietnam War, or I guess starting the Vietnam War. You know, see here, right in here, but just before this white pin, the Hillbilly was born. So that's a big day in history, right? When I was born. The next 20 years, from white pin to white pin, and the first 20 years, approximately 1.75 inches, half of it. So it would be it grew approximately 3.5–3.75 inches. From just a twig to that size in the first 20 years. The next 20 years grew really fast after it got out of the first few years here, and it grew about 3 3/4 inches in this 20 year. That 20-year period from about 63 to 83, oh, in here too, the first man in space, the moon landing would have been in this period right here. Right in here somewhere in 1979, the Hillbilly graduated high school. Yes, I did graduate from high school. Not a valedictorian or anything, probably about the middle of my class, but I done all right. 3 Mile Island would have been right here the same year that I graduated. The next, let's see here. Oh, we're still going. Nope. So that was the major thing, kind of some of the major things that happened in this period. The next 20 years, a tree grew just under 4 inches, and it's got this big crack in it. I'd love to know what happened right there, but the tree seen some pretty significant damage for some reason. It did here also, but this was pretty significant. Yeah, I'd like to know what happened there. That would have been about 43 to 63, about 1965 or so. I don't know what happened there. The next 20 years, the 4 inches here grew really fast. So that would have been for about 1983 to 03. 1986, the space shuttle explosion killed all those people on the space shuttle. The Oklahoma City bombing was in here. And of course, I see. About 1998, in this period here somewhere, I started my mobile RV business. Y2K did happen in here. Remember Y2K? Every computer in the world's going to shut down, and the world's going to be thrust into chaos. Yep, I set up that night until after midnight, and the power didn't go off, the cable didn't go off, the satellite, we had satellite TV, satellite didn't go off. I didn't see anything happen, so I went to bed. Yeah, the Y2K was a big bust, but sold a lot of stuff, right? Oh, let's see here. 9/11 happened in here too. 2001. We up to that far? Yes, we are. All right, the next 20 years. The tree grew about 3 inches in the next 20 years. So that would be from about 03 to 23, present, when it fell. The Iraq War happened right here. The plane in the Hudson. The plane landing in the Hudson River lived right here. 2019, I started the Hillbilly RV channel. And who can forget COVID in 2020? And then of course, in 2023, the tree blew over in a storm, and now it's gonna make some fantastic firewood. So, yeah, just a few of the quick things that happened in the life of this tree. I really thought that this tree was gonna be much older. I was shocked when I counted the rings, and it's somewhere between 80 and 90 years old. It's kind of hard to count these rings in here because they're just so close together. And like I say, the heartwood, I mean, for that thing to get to be 3/4 of an inch around, it's got to be more than like 3 years. So that's why I'm saying, somewhere between 80 and 90. Y'all let me know if this interested you in any way, shape, or form. There's a gigantic white oak tree right up here behind Dad's building where he keeps his tractor and stuff. If y'all want to see that, you let me know. It's still living. I'm not cutting it down, but we can go up and look at that thing. We can measure around it, and if it interests you, let me know. Other than that, that's all I got for today. As always, thanks for watching, and y'all have a fantastic day, and catch you next time. Next time, we're going to be splitting some of these biggins on the log splitter. You get to see what that log splitter was actually built for, is these biggins. So y'all wait to catch that, and we'll see you next time.